to the city where the training center is located. Okay, for this creative media production program, right? The physical classes is being held in Enugu. So if you stay in Enugu, if you reside in Enugu, you can attend the physical class. But for the sake of proximity, to save you the stress of coming from far to attend the physical classes, we created the online class for you and the app too. That is the app, the Link School app you're using to complete your assignment and quiz was created for this same purpose to enable you navigate through that. So whether you're here physical or not, you're getting the same thing that the physical um participants are getting. Right. So you don't need to worry about that. Everything you need is here online, available for you to consume. Okay, downloading the app on 64-bit laptop. Okay, I'm gonna send you the link to download the app on your laptop. I'm gonna paste the link in the chat box. So I'll be taking your questions one after the other. Okay, you're in a group chat, Sylvester. All right, so if you're in a WhatsApp group, a communique was sent in all the WhatsApp groups, okay, even on Telegram. So do well to go through that communique and then you better understand how the selection process was made. Okay, you're welcome. Well, if you live in Benin City and you are here, you're in the right place because it's because of this we created this program and extended it to participants online so that nobody will be left out. Okay. No, the classes are divided into two. Okay. You have 3 months of training and of internship. So for the online participants, after your 3 months of training, you're gonna go for 3 months of internship. All right. There you practicalize everything you've learned within the 3 months of um taking your or having your classes online. All right. So the link to download the desktop app is in the chat box. So please do well to click the link to download the desktop app. On any bit there's 32 and there's 64. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Please, if you have questions, ask me your questions. All right, Aisha. You say regards to the app. What about the app? What difficulty or challenge are you facing? You're still undergoing the training. You're not yet. You've not started assessing for the internship yet. So when the time comes, you'll be communicated for the requirements for the internship. If you're in the group chat, you don't need to worry because all of this will be shared in the group chat and you get information concerning them. All right. We are still in the training phase. Please, anyone join on the screen should stop it. Else, you might have yourself removed from today's training. Yes, the link I sent in the chat box to install the app is the desktop link. So once you click on that app, it will help you to enable you install the app on your desktop computer. Aisha, I don't understand your question. Please table your question correctly so that I can help you out. Okay, Catherine. Your assignment submission is still showing pending on the app. So if that is happening, please, I would advise you update the app. Try updating the app and try it again. Okay. Update the app and try it again. Um, are we to watch the video again on the Link School app after this class? Of course, if you did not understand anything that was said or explained in this class, that is the reason why we are having the recorded version available on our YouTube channel so that you can always have access to what was taught. Okay. Even if at some point you couldn't meet up. So it's always recorded and it's always there in our YouTube channel for you to consume. Okay. Okay. If you can't access the assignments, please do well to update the app and try it again. The assignments in each of those lessons have materials, downloadable materials that you will download and work on it. After that, you submit it back on the app. Good evening, Jimmy. Please, if you have questions, ask me your questions. I'm sorry the class would be starting sooner. Okay. I just really want to make sure that everybody is good to go. Okay. If you're having difficulties with the app, like I said, please table them here in the chat box so that we would resolve it. And of course, these videos, I the link to the page is in the chat box. So please, if you don't have access to our YouTube channel, I'm gonna send the link again where you can access these videos for each of these classes. So the link to the YouTube channel is in the chat box. So please do also click it. Okay. Subscribe to the channel so that you'll be able to turn on your notifications to get videos, to get notifications whenever we post a video. Okay. Whether the live class, for previous classes, and for upcoming classes. Please turn on your notifications. It's very important. So you'll not be left out and you'll be aware whenever we upload a video. My day is going well. How is yours? All right, you're welcome. Blessing, you're welcome to today's class. So a link to our YouTube channel is in the chat box. Please click on that link. Okay, so you'll be able to watch the previous videos for the live classes that we've had before now, since today is your first. So you will not be left behind. And if you have questions concerning anything about the Tibet program, please ask me your questions. Sorry. Okay. Ask me your questions. For joining in, you're welcome. If you have questions, please ask me your questions. The assignment comes in a PDF format. Okay, so when you download the PDF format, you convert into a Word document. After you've converted it, you write in your answers. After you've written your answers to the questions, you convert it back to a PDF and submit it. Okay. So when you convert it to a Word document, you would always have space to type in your answers and convert back before submission. All right. Attendance counts both with the live classes and with you completing your assignments and quiz. All right. So attendance counts. Okay, if you've submitted your assignments, there is a progress track on that app that shows you how many assignments you have done, how many you've submitted, how many is remaining. Okay, it's in that app where you can track your progress on the lessons you've participated in or you've watched or listened to. So you can go there and check out if the numbers are still the same. The classes are starting by 4:20. Classes are supposed to start by 4 p.m., but I'm here to help you resolve any challenges you'll be having about completing your assignment and taking your quiz. So once we are done with that, the classes would start immediately so that no one will be left behind. This is to make sure that everybody is participating and we are all moving at the same pace. So please, the classes will be starting by 4:20. And if you have questions within this time, please table your questions in the chat box. So attendance is taken when you participate in the activities that has been um that's been made available for Tvet program. From joining the live classes to completing your assignment and quiz and any other information that is being shared, taking action on the information that is being shared. When you download the assignment materials, you have to type in your answers before you convert them to PDF, right? You can convert a written document to PDF. There's a handwritten document to PDF. You can only convert a Word document or any other document to PDF. Everything is in a soft copy. You can't convert hard copies. Okay. Name of the app is Link School. Link School. The name of the app is in the chat box. The name of the app is Link School. No, there's no interview for the physical class. And if proximity will be a problem for you to join the physical classes, you don't need to worry because that is why we are having the online classes are made available for you. Okay. If you can't really make it to the physical class, you need to worry about nothing because everything you'll be learning here is being shared in the physical classes as well. The app is made available for you. All was designed to ease the stress of coming and being here physically all the time. Right? When you download the assignment materials, you fill in the answers, convert it back to PDF, and send and submit it in the app. Okay, try updating your app and try it again. Please ask me your questions. Okay, to navigate to submit assignments and take quiz, I'm gonna share a recorded video, a screen share video rather, a recorded video explaining how you can do that. So a link is in the chat box. That link would help you understand how to navigate through the app to access your assignments and submit them. Please, Onilude, try updating the app and try submitting your assignment again. Of course, there are recorded classes, so I'm gonna paste the link to the YouTube channel where you can access the classes. A link is in the chat box rather. Ibrahim, I shared the link in the chat box. Please click on the link so that you can be able to have access to the live classes. Yes. So when you download the assignment materials, please you have to convert it to a Word document. Then you type in your answers and convert it back to a PDF document to enable you to submit them. Chioma, what data are you asking for? All right, so the time is right for the classes to begin. If you have any further questions, please write it down and ask that at the end of the class. All right, so now I'll be introducing to the anchor for today's class, Mr. Chukwudi Edoga, the CEO of Digital Dreams ICT Academy, to explain everything about personal branding in creative media. So he'll be taking on with the classes. All right, our anchor for today, Mr. Chukwudi Edoga, CEO of Digital Dreams ICT Academy, would be explaining everything we need to know about personal branding in creative media. So he would be taking us now. He'll be taking us in that now.
Good day, everyone. Good day, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Can everybody hear me? Just to confirm if everybody can hear me. If you can hear me, please comment in the comment section or do through an emoji that you hear me so that I can be rest assured that everybody's hearing. Okay. And if you're on the live stream and you can hear me, please also indicate so that I have that information. Thank you, everyone. And today we are going to look at how to brand yourself as a creative media professional. It is so one of the most important things because in this lesson we are going to understand why some professionals stand out, why the others fall beside. So please stay with me as we go through the slide and the lesson for today. Um, I also noticed that some of you, some people, if you have, okay, someone is saying I should increase the volume. Um, I think I'm turning this. Can you hear me better right now? Think so. Feel it should be better, right? So today we are going to discuss personal branding. How do you brand yourself as a creative media professional? What do people know about you? What does a brand stand for? If they mention your name, what do your name actually mean to the people? This is quite important that we learn this because as we are moving on as a professional, someone says still saying my voice is very low. Okay. Trying to see, is my voice better now? Right? Hope my voice is better now. You guys can hear me better. Okay, fine. I'm getting a response that is okay. So uh, I'm so clear that everybody is following. So in this lesson, you will learn why some professionals stand out and why some others stand fall to the side. And as a creative media professional, this is quite a very important lesson. We want to be able to be sure that you know how to carry yourself, how to put yourself out there, and how to market yourself. Because at the end of the day, it is who sells. What really sells is your reputation, your social capital, your reputation capital is what will actually sell you. That is what will propel you to be on top of the game. But if you have all the skills, but you are not reliable, you're not dependable, it will be quite difficult to excel in the industry. So, and even if you are so good, you're a very good professional, but you don't really know how to market yourself, it will also be very, very difficult to excel. So this particular lesson is so important if you have to excel as a creative media professional, right? And before I continue, also, I hope every one of you have watched the last three videos. Every of you have watched the introduction, the areas of creative media production, the tools used in creative media production, because this is quite important. If you have watched the last sessions, please also indicate, right? Indicate on the on the group chats. So while I move on, okay. So I'm starting my presentation right now. So let me start it up to share my screen so that we all can be on the same page. And also remember that these slides will be shared on the Lean School Learning Management platform, you can always get all the slides there, right? Right? You can always get the slide in there. So, and in that platform, you can also take your quiz, right? You take your quiz, take your assignments, right? And also upload it there. Some of you are having difficulties. We are aware of it, and we have also been trying to solve that problem. Right? I think it's part of is an issue of the different types of funds, but we're trying to make sure that it's available to everyone. Right? So it is quite important. So I'm sharing my screen right away. So fine. So today we'll be looking at personal branding in creative media, and this this in this slide you understand how to stand out as a creative media professional. What are the things that make you to stand out? What are the things that hamper or ruin your reputation? What are the things that make you excel in the industry? Okay, and that's what we are going to tackle in this presentation. So let's ride on and move in immediately. So I asked this question: why do some creatives get all the opportunities and they get the big client, the big collaborations, the big speaking invitations, while others who are equally talented struggle to be noticed? I don't know if you have all seen this. It's right. You notice that some people get all the contracts, all the branding, all the money, all the ambassadorship, all the collaboration, while others are struggling. And in this presentation, you understand why. So it is not just the skill, it's not equipment, it's not even followers, it is branding. And when we say branding, people think is a fluff, but branding is not a fluff. Right? The camera doesn't speak for you, the equipment doesn't speak for you. It is the brand, right? And the brand is how people perceive you. It is what your reputation does, it is what your portfolio does, because what your presence does. If people can't describe you in one sentence, you don't have a brand. People need to be able to describe you in one sentence. They should be able to say, hey, I know this girl, Ifoma. He is a dependable graphic artist. That's a description in one sentence. People are just describing in one sentence. I know the other person is a reputable video editor. One sentence, right? And this for people to describe you in one sentence or know about you, you have to be intentional about creating that brand. And that is one of the reasons why we are teaching this. That is what this lesson is about, making you do. So let's move on. So let's understand what is personal brand. Personal branding is not showing off, right? It's not noise, right? It's not you just showing off, talking, bragging, or telling people you do this and do that. That's not personal branding, right? So it's not just about posting content where you are shooting movie or this. That's not personal branding, right? People can know you, for instance, as an editor, but know you as an arrogant editor. People can know you as a script writer, but know you as a shoddy script writer. Personal branding is an intentional process. That needs to be clear. You need to understand that, right? It is an intentional process. It is deliberately shaping of how people perceive your value. So, how do people really perceive your value? You can shape it, right? It must give a clear answer to the question, why should someone trust you with their story, project, or money? Have you ever asked that question from the other person's view? Why should anybody trust you with their story, their project, or their money? Why should they? Is it because you look very beautiful? Is it because you are competent? Right? Or is it because you deliver on the job, or that you pay attention to details? These are different reasons why people can trust you with their projects or their money or their story. So your personal brand must give that clear answer to that question. And it is you that must build your personal brand. And moving on, let's look at what is the definition of personal branding. By definition, it is the intentional process of shaping how people perceive your value. Look at these things clearly. It is three things come out clearly in that definition. First of all, is that it's an intentional process. You have to be intentional about creating your personal brand. The next thing is that it is a perception. People have to perceive what you offer, right? So you have to be intentional in making people perceive what you offer. And they are not trying to perceive you, they are going to perceive your value. So it must be attached to a value you provide, right? Personal branding is your reputation, it is your positioning, it is your identity in the marketplace. And it is the emotional response people have when they hear your name. When they hear your name, what is the emotional response they have? When you hear some bands, you have some emotional response. There are some people's name you hear, you will hiss. There are people's name that is attached to maybe corruption. There are people's name who are attached to incompetence. The question is, what do your name represent? What is the emotional response people do have when they hear your name? In the creative media, your brand answers, why should we hire you instead of the next talented person? So I should always ask, I put on the question to everybody. Now, can you go to the comment section and tell, why should you even be part of this training instead of the next person? Right? That is a personal branding. Why should people hire you? What differentiates you and makes you unique, right, from the other person? What is your unique selling point? You need to be able to answer that question. That answer to that question is your personal brand. And if you look at the components of what makes your brand, components of what makes your brand, first of all is your reputation. What do people say about you when you are not in the room? Do people say that you are competent? Do they say that you're shoddy or you are shoddy? Do they say that you are trustworthy, or do they say that you are unreliable? Do they say that you are truthful, or do they say you are dishonest? This is important. What's your reputation? Now, what is your positioning? Where do you stand in the competitive landscape, right? Are you someone who maybe does high number of jobs at low price, or are you the one who charges premium offer to excellent jobs? That is your position. So at what do you play? What's your position in the marketing landscape? It is quite important you define it and you decide where you play. What's your identity? How do people recognize you in the marketplace? Right? If I mention if I mention Clarence Shortit, for instance, all of you know that it's Clarence Peters I'm talking about, right? If I mention 30 BG, you know it's the video, for instance, right? There are people who have crafted their own branded identity, their own identity in the marketplace, right? And it is your job to craft your own identity, right? Your identity also can also include the logos, the brand design. If I say, for instance, yellow, you already attach yellow to MTN. If I say olive green, you already attach it to blue. Why? Because that they have crafted even the color to their brand identity. What is the next component is what is the emotional response people get when they interact with your brand? What is the feeling people have when they hear your name? If they hear Jacob, okay, what's the feeling they have, right? This is quite important for your brand because all these components constitute your brand. So brand is not just a name or your logo or your identity. It is all this that forms your brand equity, right? It is what when they say brand equity means it's something like you deposit. If you go to a bank and you deposit 100,000, it means that you are free to withdraw 100,000 later, right? The same way when you build a reputable brand, you are making deposits, which is the brand equity, which you could use later. And this is quite important. So why does personal brand matter? Why do we tell people to brand themselves properly, right? One of the things you have to understand is that the creative media is highly competitive. It is. If you don't know it now. It is a highly competitive industry, right? And it is not only it's highly visible and highly reputation driven. Your reputation matters so well. In the industry, a recommendation from someone is more important than any other thing you can sell. So it's because this is a highly reputation driven industry. So talent alone is not enough. Your reputation matters. In reality, two videographers may shoot equally well, but one is known for reliability and one is known for missing deadlines. Only one gets repeat business. And I don't need to tell you to guess who will get the repeat business because we already know who will get the repeat business. If you already know who gets repeat business, you should understand that is one of the reasons why personal brand matters. Now, let's look at the formula. The brand, your brand, personal brand equals the perception people have about you, plus the consistency of value you deliver, plus the trust people have get on you. So you need to build on the perception. Perception is about you probably being visible on social media, posting, telling your brand story, consistently making sure that you build customer relationship by delivering consistent results. And if you do that, you build the trust. So you don't also engage on activities that damage the trust people have in you. So moving on, let's look at how the competitive landscape, how it looks like. In the creative media industry, we have thousands of talented creatives competing for the same opportunities, right? And these their works are in constant display. If you participated, if you created a movie, your movie is visible in YouTube and so many other platforms. Also, if you have a high reputation, word spreads fast, right? Your reputation in the creative media industry is your biggest asset. Don't joke with it. That is why we are ensuring that we train you on this and make sure that you understand how important reputation is in the industry. So let's move on. If we move on to how do you stand out? That should be the very first question you ask. So if we understand that the market is highly competitive and we are training you to stand out, how can you stand out? Standing out as a creative media professional requires intentional strategy and consistent execution. And mark my word, I want to repeat it. Intentional strategy and consistent execution. And let's explore the key elements that will make you stand out and become unforgettable. Are you guys ready with me? So let's roll on. Fine. The first is you need to define your creative identity. You must answer three critical questions to establish your unique position in the market, right? The first is, what do I want to be known for? is important. You want to be known for as a reliable cinematographer, a, a creative storyteller, a good editor, whatsoever. You need to define what you want to be known for. And please, you can also go to the comment section and say, I, okay, fine, or whatsoever, add your name, wants to be known for this. Want to be known for um, good storytelling. I want to be known for cinematic shots and things like that. Then what problem do you solve? Right? It is clear because this will lead us to the next place where we say, what are the problems do you solve? If you are a photographer, what problem do you solve? The problem you solve as a photographer is that you freeze moments, beautiful moments that can be remembered forever, right? That is clear. You need to know what problem you solve. Then what makes your perspective unique? What really makes you unique, right? You must be able to identify your unique selling point. What are the different things that make you unique? It is important to define it because that will help you craft a very good brand identity, right? Clarity creates memorability. That is, people, when you're clear, it becomes easy for people to remember you, right? And if you try to be everything, don't try to be everything, try to be one thing, you become very forgettable. So, what do people know you? What can they remember when they hear your name? These things are quite important. So let's look at crafting identity statements, right? It is not okay for you to just come over and say, I am a videographer or I'm a script writer, right? You need to add an element using answering that first question of what problems do you solve and what makes you unique. You could see an identity statement examples here. I tell African stories with cinematic realism. This tells what I do and how I do it. I tell African stories with systematic realism. That's an example of an identity statement. Or I help brands look premium, right? That is helps. That is a clear statement. I specialize in emotional storytelling. You see, emotional, instead of just saying I specialize in storytelling, which is trying to be everything, you are saying you specialize in emotional storytelling. Or I turn simple ideas into viral visual narratives. You see, these are different kind of your identity statement that you need to make, you need to write that. And it helps craft your brand identity, right? So moving on. Now, the next is you need to also develop a signature style. When you listen to, you see, when you see Quentin Tarantino's movies, you always, his signature is always violence and suspense. So we know that, right? So if you are going to go to a Tarantino movie, you already know what to expect. Your brand becomes stronger when people can recognize your work without seeing your name, right? If you see a Christopher Nolan film and you see how he works with different timelines, you will probably guess this is a Christopher Nolan's film. If you see a Denis Villeneuve film, you already know probably this must have been that. So you could define what is your signature. It could be consistent color grading style. It could be distinct lighting approach, consistent storytelling structure, repetitive themes, or a specific niche focus, right? And this is important. And let's do this test. If somebody sees a highly contrasting cinematic lighted African cultural depth movie, right? That is black and white. What's the very first thing that comes to the person's mind, right? If you see a high contrast black and white movie that shows cultural African context, what's the very first movie that comes to your mind? The very first movie that probably comes to your mind will be Mami Water by C.J. That movie was his signature, created his signature style. And it is important we understand how to craft our own signature style. Right? The next is build recognition. You build recognition with what? With repetition. By consistently repeating a thing or repeating your brand signature, you build recognition. People can recognize you. Right? That your style becomes recognizable when you consistently push it and it becomes your identity. And it is important we understand that and how to utilize this for both our storytelling and building our brand, right? So let's look at how do you make people to identify you instantly. The very first one is visual consistency, right? Across all platforms, try to be consistent. You should be able to use the same picture you use it Instagram, on your LinkedIn profile, and on Facebook and on TikTok. That's visual consistency. Same color palette, same logo, same watermark, same typography style. It's important you maintain that. Messaging consistency is also important, right? You should have a clear bio everywhere. Your bio should be consistent across different platforms. When people see you across these platforms, they know who you are. Then you also need behavioral consistency. You need to behave the same way. If you are a jovial, smiling guy, try to make sure that across all board, when you attend different events, you are consistent in your behavior. You are always professional, always responsive, always punctual. If you are punctual, for instance, to a movie set, maintain that. Not in some movie sets, you'll be punctual, or in some music sets, you will not meet deadline, but you meet in the other ones. Please try to maintain your behavior across different areas. Now, another key area to personal branding is authenticity, right? You need to be authentic, right? Authenticity is not perfection, it's not performance, it's not copying trends. What is it that make you who you are? It is not when you actually see everybody wearing black shirts, maybe to set, you start wearing black shirt to set. Probably what you like wearing is red shirts. Keep your red shirts. Maybe what you like doing is everybody's doing green color grading, but you want the orange or teal color grading. Maintain be authentic to yourself. Maintain who you are. Don't because of others start copying others. Don't copy. And I always like to use the film Mami Water by C.J. Obas as an example. It was a highly authentic storytelling because it was in black and white and with high contrast. I can barely remember when I've seen such movie that is in black and white and high contrast before. Every other person is in color. But C.J. Obasa was authentic to himself and moved his movie, Mami Water, to black and white. And remember that movie won the best the best award for cinematography in Sundance Film Festival. So you could understand why authenticity is important. Now, you also being authentic doesn't also mean you have to keep waiting for things to happen. You need to learn how to share your journey. Be honest about your path and your present and your experiences. Show behind the scenes. Reveal the struggle and the processes that you are undertaking in becoming who you are. Also, learn to admit your mistakes, right? You can go back to your earlier works and admit the mistakes you did and correct them and show people. This is what I did in 2020. It wasn't working. These are the mistakes I made because I was growing. Then these are the things I do now, right? So own your errors and learn publicly. Then avoid fake branding. Don't create lifestyles that are fake, right? Don't create a false version of yourself, right? Be authentic to yourself. It's not when they say fake it until you make it. It is not always true because you can be faking it, and one reputational damage can destroy you in the industry. So please learn to be authentic. So let's look at the trust equation, how it really works, right? Authenticity, that is being genuine in your voice and work, builds trust, and trust builds opportunities. This is a simple formula and is a foundation for a lasting success in the creative media space. And I repeat, being authentic builds what? Trust. And trust builds opportunities. So don't mistake it. Make sure you follow this path. Let's move on. And a critical foundation for a critical foundation for being building a strong brand is honesty and diligence. Remember, honesty and diligence is so important. Reputation is built on two fundamental pillars that cannot be compromised. These two pillars cannot be compromised. You can't compromise it if you are to build a very strong reputation, right? The two pillars are honesty. Learn to say the truth. There is no better policy. Honesty has remained the best policy. Don't exaggerate your skills, right? It is important you don't exaggerate your skills, right? Don't overpromise. Don't fake portfolio work. Is important, right? Don't also take people's credit. Give proper credits. One lie can destroy years of credibility, right? It is important we understand this, right? Diligence is the next pillar. Diligence is the next pillar that builds reputation. If you are diligent, you have to learn how to deliver before deadline. You have to also learn how to communicate updates, respect contracts, and improve continuously. Your consistency builds your reputation. Remember, we have talked about the two pillars, which is honesty and diligence. We need to learn and imbibe that. It is very, very important. Just like we are having this program, honesty is you doing your assignment, making sure it is you, not copying people's work. Diligence is attending the lectures, doing, watching the videos, learning all the things you are supposed to learn, and being on time, right? Okay, let's move on. So please make a pledge to yourself that you will be honest and diligent in your duties as a creative media professional going forward. Remember, words spreads fast. Creative media is small, it's a small space. Words spreads fast. Your name travels ahead of you. And if you understand that your name travels ahead of you, what would that name say? Would that word say that you are a diligent practitioner? Would that word say that you're competent? Or would that say word be that you are untrustworthy? Right? Fine. Every project you are handling is an audition for the next one. That is what we always say in the industry, right? Every project you are handling is an audition for the next one. Every interaction shapes your reputation. Your reputation is built on the two pillars, which we have mentioned earlier, honesty and diligence. Are we good? Good. Let's move on. So we are discussing your social capital, right? What is social capital? I know some of you might have heard this word, but here we are going to define it for you and help you understand how to build your social capital. Okay. Social capital is the value of your network. How many followers you have, all right, is not your social network, social capital. It should need to be clear to you. It's not about your followers, not your number of your subscribers, but how many people trust and respect you. That's your social capital. Remember, it is not how many persons you know. You might know 1,000 persons, but you still don't have social capital. It is how many people trust and respect you. That is important. Opportunities come from referrals, recommendations, collaborations, and mentions. Who are the persons who are referring you? Who are the persons recommending you or collaborating with you or mentioning your name in rooms that you are not in? These are your social capital. Your net worth. So your network is not your net worth. You can have no a million persons, but they don't trust you, right? And you don't still have, you know, a million persons and they don't trust you. You still don't have social capital. So it is important that we understand what it is. So how do you increase your social capital as a creative media professional? And this is quite important. I like this part because capital is what you could increase. It is also something you can also destroy. And it's important we understand how to navigate that. Right? First, if you have to build social capital, you need to provide value first. So share insights, recommend others, give feedbacks, connect people. The easiest way to build social capital is to share knowledge. Okay, like now this program is happening. Have you shared it with your friends? And action, right? You are participating in a free social creative media program. How many of your friends did you share it to? How many of your friends have you recommended to others for employment or for job or things like that? Do you give people honest feedback and do you connect people? If you do a whole lot of this and create this value, you are increasing your social capital. The next is to be visible, attend events, join conversation, post on your social media consistently, and engage meaningfully. If there are events in your industry, there are film festivals, there are conferences in the industry, please learn to attend. If there are events online, conversations online, try to join those conversations, right? Also, be visible, post what you do online consistently, and engage with others, both online and offline, meaningful. And doing that, you need to also build relationship. Follow up on your friends, follow up on people within your network, follow up on your partners, right? Celebrate their wins, send appreciations, and stay in touch. Staying in touch is an integral part of building social capital. Endeavor you as you stay in touch. Staying in touch is not difficult. During festive seasons, you can send greetings, happy Christmas, happy Salah, happy Ramadan, happy Easter, and things like that. When on people's birthday, learn to send them birthday messages and things like that. These are different ways you build relationship. It normally pays well, I'll tell you. If there is nothing you learn in this course, learn how to stay in touch and how to build your social capital. right? Relationship compounds over time. Every connection you make today could become an opportunity tomorrow. Investing in relationship without expecting immediate returns is important. I like to underline that word. Without expecting immediate return. There are some people who, once they engage on in anything or make any investment in their relationship, they want the return immediately. They want it now, 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 now. It doesn't work that way. You build it over time, right? You make connections today and it becomes an opportunity tomorrow. You build it over time. It is not an instant gratification thing. The best opportunities all often comes from connections made years earlier. So when you make those connections now, the payoff time can be in 2 years, in 1 year. But when it pays off, it usually pays off. So it is important we understand that. Now, if we are to build our social capital, we should also understand how to socialize properly. Professional socialization is a skill that separates successful creatives from struggling ones. I can bet you on my last naira that this is true. It is important. Professional socialization is a skill, and all of us needs to learn that. So, how do we socialize properly? The very first rule in socializing properly, professional socializing, is that you need to know, understand, and learn how to listen more than you speak. Right? When you listen to people and pay attention to them, it makes them feel important. You need to understand that. People remember how you make them feel, they rarely remember what you said. So, the attention you pay to people while they speak is sometimes more important than saying anything. So you need to learn how to listen more than you speak. Also, don't lead with I need. I need that. I need this. Can you provide this? Can you do this for me? That is a wrong way to socialize. Lead with how can I add value? How can I help you with this project? How can I be of help here? How can I improve this? You lead with such words. Not I need this. Can you help us this? Can you be of help this? No. Learn how to remove such words. Right? Rather, even if you need to use those words, you could use the word partner or collaborate. Can we collaborate to make this project happen? Not can you come and help us with this project? It's just two different words, but one is leading with value, the other one is not. Also, respect hierarchies without worshiping. You need to learn how to respect those who have come before you, right? Confidence plus humility equals magnetic what? Presence. You need to learn how to show respect without worshiping people. It is quite important because showing respect is one of the things that open the door in places you don't expect. Also learn how to dress and present intentionally. Your appearance communicates discipline and professionalism. You will need to understand how to dress professionally and dress appropriately for different events where you're going to be. Because one of the things you have to understand is that in this industry, you have to collaborate. Most projects are not done by a single person. A whole lot of collaboration is needed to get most projects off the ground. And if you have to collaborate, it means that your appearance is important. People value, people still places importance on how you dress and how you present yourself. Remember, your appearance can communicate discipline, attention to details, and professional seriousness. Before you speak, your presentation has already communicated volumes about your professionalism and attention to quality. So please make sure you take this seriously because it is quite important. Right? Now, how do you build authority? right? In the creative media, right? Authority is earned through demonstration, not declaration. You show expertise through action, right? It is not enough coming to shout, I can do this, I'm the best in that. And no, 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 no. There are better ways to show authority. There are better ways to show competence than just declaring it or coming out and announcing it yourself. And these are better ways you could do that. The very first thing you need to do is to document your process, right? Instead of saying, I'm good with this, show your expertise through documentation, right? Example of what to document, you can show before and after. Maybe because beginning of your project, you show how the project looks and what you did before, right? That shows uh, your your expertise. You could do breakdowns of what you did, right? You could do analysis of how you achieve what you are doing. You could also give explanation in your lighting process or your different processes you do for your work. This helps document it. You can do all these things, put it on social media pages and things like that. This helps document what you do and shows your authority in the field without you declaring it, right? So why does this work? Trying showing rather than telling builds authority. When you teach, when you position yourself as an expert, people trust you because you share knowledge generously. It's important. Learn how to show what you do, document your processes, explain what you do, explain how you arrived at the different things you have arrived at, right? And give explanations to what you do. This helps show you an authority in that specific area, and it helps build the trust people have in you. Now, also publish your thoughts in leadership, right? To stand out, you also need to become a creator, just as it, right? You are being trained as a creator. The very first thing to start creating is to create content for yourself that will market you, that will show your skills. So share lessons you learn, document your journey, analyze your processes. You can analyze your themes, your lighting setup, your photo, your your video and things like that. Break down what makes your theme or your work or your video work great, right? Also, you can break down trends, help people understand trends. You can look at the different film movements and explain them to a novice or do a video about that. Start telling people where you are. You could even take the contents of this that you have just done now and explain to others about personal branding and tell people about yourself and things like that. Content is king, as we always say. So now you have understood how to start. Let's look at what can be your long term brand strategy. What can be your strategy, right? That can last you for a very long time in the industry, right? Because it is necessary to think beyond today. You should not just be thinking about today. It's not okay. You need to think about today and tomorrow, about 10 years from now, about 5 years from now. What are the strategy you could start now that can also be useful and help build your brand going forward, right? So the very first thing you should ask yourself is, where do you want to be in 5 years? I also want to see your comments. So give this open, right? Where will you want to be in 5 years? Please go down to the comment section and tell me, in 5 years' time, where do you want to be? Do you want to be a freelancer, a studio founder, a creative director, industry educator, or things like that, right? And if you are on YouTube live stream, please write it on your comment section also, right? So that we could ask, let me even see sample and see what many persons are aspiring to become in 5 years time, because it is important we learn how to strategically define where we want to be, right? So where do you want to be in 5 years, right? Right? If you can put it in the comment. If you're on Zoom, please go on to the comment section and write it. If you're on YouTube, please also comment. I want to take a poll on that is that some have small dreams. I want to be able to read out some of people's dreams, right? Some have small dreams. Some also have big dreams. And I want to see if among us, if there are people with big dreams, right? Um, no, I this also too. What I just mentioned here are examples, not that you have to choose from this, right? You mustn't choose studio founder or choose a freelancer or creative director. You have the right to say. You could say anything, right? But these are just examples. We just say, what do you want to be in 5 years? Because you remember we are discussing 5 years, right? Because what I'm seeing here, people are saying creative director, um, Johnny Beauty saying he wants to be a great director and editor, right? Fine. Uh-huh. Some say he want to be an actress, right? And things like that. So it's good you have your dreams, right? Which you have been expressing, right? Some say they want to be a script writer. Oh, that's nice. Some say they want to be a studio founder and a YouTube educator. That's beautiful. All these are beautiful. Now, if you have written what you want to be, how do you strategically position yourself in that in 5 years you can achieve it or create a brand that helps you? Because if you are saying you want to be a studio founder that builds a creative business and team, what are the skills that are required to get that happen? If you say you want to be a creative director that leads creative visions for organizations, what are the skills? Or you want to be an industry educator, what are the skills that will make that happen? This is quite important. You ask yourself such of those skills. One, then how should people perceive you now, from now going forward? That's one of the things we need to look at. So let's move on. There are different things to do if you are going to build a brand for the long term. There's something we call short-term thinking, which is you are chasing money right now that builds short-term income but limits long-term goals. Now, let's take, for instance, someone who wants to be a creative, a studio owner, for instance, right? If you want to be a studio owner, you will need to work with a whole lot of teams. So it means that probably right now you'll be spending money to attend industry events. And if you're attending those industry events, for instance, you notice that you are not making money in those events, right? You are not making money right now, but you are building the connections and the network and the social capital that will make you achieve being a studio founder, right? Short-term thinking, probably as a studio founder, will be saving money, right now, so that you can use it to eat and maybe produce one music now. Long-term strategy might be attending industrial events and getting the connections that will help you when you build a studio, right? So creating long-term wealth is building reputation that creates sustainable success and open door for premium opportunity. It is quite important we understand how this is done and how it can be done. Okay. Now, what do reputation bring, right? Why we are explaining, you see, I have been hammering on reputation for the last 15 minutes. And I know why I'm hammering it. Because some of the creatives now, for instance, when you don't have the diligence to actually produce the right work, what will happen is that you take people's work, take their money, and when they call you on the phone, you start busy in their calls. You won't pick their call, you allow them this and that. It is quite frustrating, right? And that is example of a way of losing reputation so fast, right? You see, Some people are clapping because they know this is an experience people will see all the time. Where instead of people collect people's money to do a job and they stop answering their calls. But if you have good reputation, the very first thing that happens is that you can command premium rates for expertise. You take higher fees, right? The next thing that happens when you have reputations, when people know you by your name, you start having speaking opportunities where you can share your expertise on bigger stages, right? And if you have a very good reputation, if you are also charging higher fees, you will also attract premium clients. So you attract the best projects and the collaborators. And with that, you will also have the best partnership. You can be able to collaborate with industry leaders. All these are important because these are the things that comes along with reputation. And that is one of the things I always tell people. Reputation is so important. I can't overemphasize it. I can't. Even if I keep saying it from beginning of this presentation to the end, and it's the only thing you learned, that is already enough, right? So now we have looked at how to build up your reputation. Let's look at how to showcase yourself properly. Because talent hidden is opportunity wasted. You must package your work and package yourself clearly and be visible in the market. Because if you're not visible in the market, you are like somebody who is in the dark room, eh? and and writing a love letter to a lady. One, you can't even see what you're writing. And after writing and you give it to a girl and you're in the dark room, the person won't be able to read it. So please learn how to shine light on what you do. And it's quite important. So let's teach you how to showcase yourself properly. The very first thing you need to do is that you need to build a professional portfolio, right? We call it a show reel, right? You need to have a reel containing at least 3 to 5 of your best projects. You don't need to show the whole world that you have done 1,000 projects. You don't need that. You need quality over quantity. You need to showcase your best work, right? And your portfolio must answer this question. If I hire you, what can I expect? Can I expect good cinematography, good sound? Can I expect quality photographs? Can I expect a very good script, right? You could also do a before and after sample. Before and after sample demonstrate the transformation and the value you bring to the table, right? Your portfolio should also include testimonials. Let your certified clients speak for you. And your portfolio should also include a short bio and contact information. The last one I said is important. Contact what information? Your email, your phone numbers, the social media link needs to be available in your portfolio. So moving forward, another thing you need to do is to create a signature content, right? Don't just post random work. Post consistently looking works. Create content that build authority and demonstrate expertise. I'll give you an example. If you notice the slide we have been using for all this, when you see this slide, for instance, you remember Tvet Creative Media Production class, right? Because we have consistently created this as our signature for our slide, for the training. So it is important. That's part of creating a brand. You also need to build content that speaks of your authority, right? In creating your reels, you need to be able to have content that shows the behind the scene, right? Your process broke down, how I shot this clip, right? Or share technical insights of what you do. You also need to also create something like a tutorials. It doesn't need to be a long tutorial. It can be just a short tutorial, maybe how to edit this small part, how I remove this background, and things like that to show your expertise. It's important that as you have developed these skills, you learn how to showcase this. This lesson is important. Teaching builds authority, authority builds reputation. Right? Let's also look how you can use storytelling to market yourself. Let's look at two different approaches. Instead of saying something is like, here is a video I shot, and you post it on and show the video, and show it on your social media. This tells nothing about the value of the result. You could turn this to a strong story by using this approach. This client struggled with low engagement. We restructured their storytelling approach and increased retention by what? 45%. Right? This is the video, right? You can do a video that shows how your client struggled with low engagement, how you restructured their storytelling, and how it increased retention by 45%. This shows transformation, right? And people buy results, not effort. Always know that people buy results, not effort. Why people buy is your results. So always show results. Don't just show effort. Okay. Now let's look at how you can build your platform and the different platforms that is available for you to build your profile. The very first important platform is LinkedIn. One, it shows professional authority. It is best for thought leadership if you want to showcase your thought leadership. It is also very good for industry positioning, for networking with brands, and for corporate opportunities. Right? So, what do you post on LinkedIn? You should post industry insights, your project breakdown, your career reflections, and the lessons you learned. So, learn how to create content that speaks to this that you can post on your LinkedIn profile. Now, Instagram is another platform that is quite important, right? It is for creating your visual identity. In Instagram, you should be able to showcase your best creative work, whether it is video or a photo, right? You can also show your reels, your short form video content. You can show behind the scenes of your process, right? You can also express your unique voice to build your brand personality. You can use carousels in explaining concepts, real clips for projects, and consistent aesthetics. Instagram builds recognition. LinkedIn builds credibility. So we are seeing the different aspects you need to look at. Next part is what? YouTube. YouTube is still remains a very powerful tool for building your brand identity, right? You can use that for your tutorials where you teach people skills and techniques. Like some of you are watching this from YouTube live stream. YouTube builds trust as skill. You can also use YouTube for portfolio case studies, right? Where you go deep dive into projects and explain the pain points and how you navigated in solving the problem. It can also be used for industry commentary, where you share your perspective on different trends and how your take on them. Another platform you can also use is TikTok, right? It is for reach and discovery, right? You can use it for short tips, quick editing hacks, fast storytelling breakdown, and trend adaptation. One of the good thing about TikTok is that TikTok builds visibility very fast. Its algorithm favors quality content regardless of followers count. So you might even have 10 followers and your content have gone viral. Is important. So it makes it ideal for emerging what? Creative. If you have produced a quality work with TikTok, it can go viral without having a high number of subscribers or followers, right? Another platform is IMDb, right? IMDb is Internet Movie Database, right? It is good for building industry credibility. IMDb is essential for international visibility, professional resume building, and project archiving. Now you can archive all of them in IMDb. So that if people go to your IMDb profile, they can see all the works that you are associated with. It builds credibility fast in the global creative industry. So most of you can go to IMDb and create a profile. Tell them you're a photographer, you're a cinematographer, especially if you are playing in the uh, movie and video production sector. You can create that your IMDb profile, right? And if you are also a graphic artist, for instance, you have Behance where you can also create a profile in. And in creating your IMDb profile, right? First of all, use clean headshots, write clear biography, and use your accurate role titles is important. Ensure proper credits, right? Verify name, spelling, accurate roles, and verifiable projects, right? Also, link your IMDb profile to everywhere, to your LinkedIn, to your Instagram, to your YouTube, to your email signature. Remember, your email signature is important. For every email you send, you need to create an email signature, and you should be able to add your IMDb link in that email signature. Then also your website, if you do have one, right? And in creating your IMDb biography, please keep it professional, not motivational. Focus on credential and achievements, not inspirational statement. Not like I want to be the best cinematographer in Africa. No, that is not a good biography. You should be able to focus it should be more or less like I'm a cinematographer in Nigeria and I've worked in this project and this project and this project where I helped to achieve this kind of result, right? It is so important, right? So let's move on. Also, in building all this profile, you also need to achieve what we call the name consistency problem, right? My name is Edoga Chukwode, for instance. It will make sense that on Instagram, I'm Edoga Chukwode. I'm Chuks Edoga on LinkedIn, and I'm E Chukwode on IMDb. This weakens search identity and confuses potential clients. So it is important that you choose a professional name. Stay consistent across all platforms using that name. This strengthens your brand and makes it easy for people to find you. It is so important. So please make sure that in creating your brand, you have name consistency. If you already have a logo, you should also have a logo consistency that across each platform, you maintain the same name and the same identity. Another way you could also showcase yourself is building a professional website, right? This gives you professional control. A professional website is your digital headquarters, right? Your social media can change, but your website is your property. So as your property, this is where you can also showcase all your work, do case studies on your projects, deep dive on your projects, and explain yourself better. Your professional website should also have your contact information and how people can reach you easily, right? Essential elements if you should build your professional website includes your portfolio. So even if somebody is building it for you, you can actually build your portfolio, your about section, your services, your testimonial, and your contact page, right? This is quite important, right? Across this, I will show, even if nobody's building it for you, in this lesson, I will also show how you could use free tools like Google Sites in creating your own website, right? So that you have a, a searchable content online that is in your control. So at the end of this, we will actually show you, I'll walk you through how to use Google Sites, which is a very easy site building app to create some of these things, right? So let's look at strategic platform positioning. How do you position yourself strategically? The first, IMDb for your industry credibility and international visibility. The next, LinkedIn for corporate authority and professional networking. Instagram for visual identity and brand personality. YouTube for teaching authority and deep expertise. Then your website for what? For controlled narrative and professional headquarters. So that will be your professional headquarters. So we are moving on, right? So let's look at the professional ecosystem, right? We have all looked at all these platforms. So let's look at the professional ecosystems, right? How do you build a professional ecosystem that reinforces your brand from every angle? Each platform serves a specific role, so purpose, while contributing to your overall reputation, right? So we'll look at that, right? The first is that you need to understand that if you are building your reputation, you need to build it across all these platforms. And we have already mentioned these platforms, which forms the ecosystem that builds great visibility for you and builds your reputation, right? Remember, all this contributes to what we call the reputation capital, right? And what is that? It is the amount of equity, the amount of value people perceive that 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 you bring to the table. Reputation in creative media spreads fast. If you are known for being a good photographer or being a good cinematographer, that word will spread fast that you will be called for jobs very, very in different areas that you can't even take the number of jobs you can that's available for you. Your actions today shape your opportunities tomorrow. It is important we understand that. Now, let's also look at what destroys your brand equity. We have shown you how to build this brand equity, how to build your reputation. What are the different things that you do that destroys your brand? Because in as much as you know how to build it, you should also know how not to destroy it. Because, like if you say, one lie can destroy a reputation that is built for over 10 years. So you need to know how to protect your brand. The very first thing in the creative industry, very first thing that destroys brand equity is missing deadlines. Consistently failing to deliver on time damages trust, right? This is so one of the highest things that destroys your, your reputation. Time is always of essence in the industry. And don't ever be late. Don't miss your deadline. And if there are reasons to miss the deadline, please inform the client ahead. It is important so that adequate remedy can be made on that. So don't just up and don't show up and miss the deadline. Also, please learn how not to overpromise. People do this a whole lot. You give somebody something to edit, that is supposed to take 1 week, but he will tell you that he will deliver it in 2 days. Then in 2 days, when you start calling him, he will not pick his call because he has overpromised and is definitely going to under-deliver. Please, setting unrealistic expectations leads to disappointment. So learn never to overpromise. Rather, instead of overpromising, underpromise and over-deliver. It is important. The next thing you should never do is disappearing mid-project. People do these things most sometimes. Very bad, is a very bad behavior. Mid-project, you disappear. They'll be calling you, you'll be picking your calls. Poor communication destroys professional relationship. It's one of the fastest way to kill your reputation in the industry, is disappearing mid-project. Then the next thing that will destroy your brand equity and your reputation is delivering carelessly, creating low quality jobs. Low quality works reflect poorly on your brand. Please, instead of not delivering poor quality job, don't deliver at all. Refund the money. Give reasons and refund the money. Rather, instead of, please learn never to deliver low quality jobs. Then, inversely, these are also what builds your trust capital. Delivering before deadlines, if you can exceed expectation on timing, it all builds your trust capital. Next is communicating clearly. Please keep everyone informed, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Please communicate with your clients, tell your stakeholders, and let them know. Under promise and what? Over deliver. That should be your keyword. Under promise and over deliver. Surprise people with what? Quality. And another very important mantra is improving continuously. We need to learn how to what? Improve continuously, because it is quite important. Never stop learning. Never. It is only a dead man that stops learning. Right? So never ever stop learning. Right? So let's move on. Right? One of the things we have to understand is that costs travel faster than marketing. Some of you guys spend thousands and hundreds of thousands on marketing. But word of mouth recommendation from satisfied clients is more powerful than any advertisement, right? It builds trust and creates opportunities for you. That is why we are specifically talking about this steadily. Please learn how to build your reputation, because it is so important. Okay, now let's look at the 5 qualities of success. Because we want you to be a successful creative media professional. So let's look at the 5 qualities that will actually create success. The first one is skill, right? The first one is skill. So you need to be skilled. The next one is that you have to be very reliable. You need to deliver and deliver on time. You need to be authentic. When we say authentic, means you need to say your truth as they appear, right? And don't be fake. Opposite of being authentic is being fake. The next is you need to be generous. When we say generous, we're not telling you to give people money. You need to be generous with your knowledge and the things you know. Share your knowledge with the world. It is important because it builds trust, it builds visibility, it builds authority. And the 5th success recipe is to be consistent, right? Be consistent, right? So master these 5 qualities, and over time, your name becomes your strongest asset, right? If you can master these 5 qualities, at a point, your name will become your strongest asset. And as we said, your name is your asset. Over time, your name becomes your strongest asset. Every project, every interaction, every piece of content contributes to the equity in your personal brand. And remember, every project you do and you deliver quality and on time, every interaction you actually add value to, and every piece of content you share that have value in people's life contributes to how people perceive who you are and how people recommend or refer you. So invest in your reputation today and it will pay dividends, not only now, but also in decades to come, right? So let's look at the journey ahead in building your personal brand. So in starting today, start building your brand with intentional action. Next, stay consistent, show up regularly with quality and authenticity. Build relationship, invest in your network and social capital. This is important. Invest in your network and social capital. Document everything. Share your process and build authority. Always learn to document what you do. Then, lastly, protect your reputation. You need to learn how to guard your reputation, guard your credibility with honesty and diligence, because the reputation you built for decades can be destroyed with one lie. So learn how to guard your reputation. It is so important. And remember, your brand is built daily, right? Every interaction, every post contributes to your reputation. Be intentional. And success is a marathon, it is not a sprint. Building a powerful personal brand takes time, but the compound effect is what? Extraordinary. So start now. So at this juncture, this leads us to the end of the product or of the presentation. Your name is your legacy. Build it with intention. Be skilled, be reliable, be authentic, be generous, be consistent. These are the 5 recipes for success. And remember, your reputation is your greatest asset. Protect it, nurture it, let it open doors you never imagined before. So at this juncture, we will take questions. And if you have enjoyed the lecture, please let us know in the comment section. You can actually send us a clap emoji. If you're on live stream, you can also let us know by adding an emotion to that so that from here, we can take the question. So if you really enjoyed this class and you are ready to build your personal brand, please let us know in the comments section. And in some of those things I mentioned, if you are doing any of them, right, like on over promising, please, it's time to stop. Don't do that. From henceforth, you have seen the steps how to build your personal brand. We expect that you will apply it immediately in the things you do, right? So please, at this juncture, I'll start taking the questions. If you have questions on this, please let us know in the comments section. Okay. Okay. So I was asking if I will go to the Google site I mentioned. I'll take your questions on this. Then I'll also do a 10-15 minutes to show you how you could actually create your own um, uh, website with using Google Site, right? Okay. I'll do a little demonstration henceforth on how you can create your own sample site, your own small site using site on Google, right? So I'm typing on the chat session where you're going to go, sites.google.com, right? I don't know, can you see, okay, fine, let me see the scene I'm sharing. Okay, okay, let's, okay, someone is saying that it's more engaging when it downloads the material and follows as I'm talking. Oh, that would be lovely. We will also I think there was a mix up, that's why it didn't happen now today. But we will push it, I'll put it on so that it becomes more engaging, as you said, to have the materials as we go. So it won't happen next time, I promise. Okay, fine. I want to create how many of you can see my slides right now? Can you see me sharing the Google site.google.com? If you can see, okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay, you guys can see me, see that. On YouTube, if you are watching here on YouTube, please let me know that too, so that I know I'm carrying everyone along. If you're also watching from YouTube, um, let us know. We're also sending the link on YouTube. It's sites SITES dot google.com. So you could create your own you could create your own you can create your own mini website on sites. Okay, fine. You can, if you check the chat section, if you're watching from YouTube, we posted it also, the link. So if you want to listen, actually, I want to create a portfolio website. You can see when I look at here, you can see it's showing me the site I've created, right? And these are, I can create, tell me to start a new site. You, before you can see this, you must have logged in to your Google account. So your Gmail, you must have logged into your Gmail or in a browser where Google account is logged in. It's asking if I should do a family update website, a portfolio website, event, and things like that. These are the ones that have been seen. I can go to the template gallery here, and I could see more other templates. You could see that for a business, for education purpose. But in this case, I might just want to create for a portfolio, for instance. So if I click on a portfolio, it loads, right? And I can start creating. So remember from what we just told you, I can say my name is Chooks. Can see I'm already creating a small site for myself right now. Okay. Are you guys following? If you're following, let me know in the content section. Right? Now, this, it only has the home, about us, and the project page. So this is me. I can change this image, for instance. This image, I can try to see if I select an image from the drive. So you can select image from your drive. Okay. I drive. Can also upload images. So there are different okay, in my drive, let me see if I can find uh, first kids. Just trying to find just trying to find an image that works, right? Okay, let me just choose this. Mustn't be me. Okay, are we now on the top of here? I add a logo, which is will be my portfolio. Then maybe here down selected works. Okay. Okay. Let's add. So you could see me, I've added some of the portfolio works. Uh, mustn't be, right? So I can get this. Now remember, I'm just editing a template. You can select a different template, right? And edit your portfolio. You could also start from the scratch and do this, right? I'm just showing you that these are things you could simply do and have a mini website, right? Now, now that I've done this, for instance, I've just been able to create a very simple page for myself. You could also add other play pages. into this. I can preview that and things like that. These are all the things I can add. I can delete this. I want to change this image. So you could play around. There's a whole lot of things you can play around, and you can create um, your own sites. Okay, fine. So here comes the interesting part, right? I've been able to do this. The next thing here I click is publish, right? So I create the address. This is important. You just create the address of the web page. Now I just call it choose portfolio, right? Right? And I can publish this. If I publish this, for instance, that link becomes available. If I put it anywhere, right? People will be able to have have a look at my own work. So you can, this is what I just did now is skeletal. You should be able to take your time and create more of this, right? So let's see, the site I've created now. I'll copy this is I'll copy the link. Now, if I should go to a new page and paste it, voila, that's the site I've created. But this is just minimal. You can take your time to do this properly. I just showed you to actually create a whole lot of work here. Just the minimal thing is what I just did now. You can customize this and customize more better just using that template and make these things. And I can also further customize this. Example, here now, I can change this background to a different color, right? You see how I change this thing to a different color. And if I go to this, to now be a bit different. So you have the power to customize your work as much as you can. So power is in your hand and you can use it. So this is just a short this on how you could create a free site for yourself to this and that. So you can share this link to your friends, right? As fast as you can. So please learn how to customize it. Customize it. I can also change the color or even use an image as a background, for instance. Um, just showing you different areas, different ways I can customize that same content. Right? And start this in the background. You see that. So I know if you guys are very smart guys, can play around on this. This is not a web design class. I hope you guys do, but it's just to show you guys how you can uh, how you can. This is drafts. This I publish the current iteration of it. You see that? So you can see this is already becoming more beautiful as I'm working this. So these so you can see the site now is looking finer. There's another image at the background. So take your time, create your professional profile. You can create your site and have this to bucket and brand yourself properly. But always remember your reputation is your biggest asset. Your name is your biggest asset, and protect and guard it carefully. So at this juncture, I will take further questions, and after that, we can call it a day. We can come to the end of the lecture. Right? Okay. So please, if you have questions, you can ask. If you have questions, you can ask. In the absence of questions, somebody is asking if you don't have pictures and videos of your early works or projects, how can you communicate this, please? Now, it is not only your past works you can show your upcoming projects or the things you are working on now. So it is not a must, it has to be past projects, right? Or the works you collaborated with people and you give due credits, right? Please, if you're having problem with the Link School app, talk with the admin. There are number of people who are discussing with her. She is attending to a lot of people, so you might have some patience while she actually solve your problem. Then somebody is asking if there is permission for internship. Yes, um, the program allows internship after the first 3 months of training. So we are also getting people to make sure that the internship will work, and it is people who actually follows the program to the end that will also be and did the assignment quizzes correctly are the people who we can recommend for internship. Okay. Not seeing any question from YouTube. Okay. Somebody is asking, um, how is your reputation your greatest asset? I think that's what I've been saying all this while now. So if at the end of the lecture you're still asking me how reputation is your greatest asset, then I think maybe you missed the class, right? So it is important. So reputation is your greatest asset. So thank you so much for this class, and thank you for being with us for the past 2 hours. If you have enjoyed this, please you can give us a round of applause so that we feel encouraged and we can continue creating all this content and playing a role to make sure that everybody learns and learn well in this creative media class. So thank you all. Thank you everyone. I'll be taking my leave and have a beautiful evening. Right.
You give it